Josh here today, aka the world's greatest dad, and what we have here is the FLYBIRD Adjustable Weight Bench. And today we're going to unbox this bad boy, take a detailed close look at it, fully test it out, and see if it might be a product you want to pick up as well. So with that being said, let's get it. So first things first, kids, let's go ahead and unbox this thing and see how hard it is to put together. Now the weight bench itself is primarily all the way put together. Just got a couple things we got to put on, including the two support legs, the footrest. Of course, it does come with an instruction manual. All we're going to need here is these two nuts and bolts along with a washer, a couple of pins, and they do provide us with all the tools we'll need to do this as well. Now we'll go ahead and dive into our instruction manual. On page 1, you're going to find our parts list so you can make sure that you got everything you're supposed to have. Then we get into our 3-step setup process, real simple to do with both pictures and words. And finally, we'll get into our warranty. They do provide a 1-year warranty, and they've got email customer support here as well. So let's go ahead and get started with our install. Now they did provide us with these 2 pins in our little parts bag, but there's an additional one we're going to remove right here as well. At that point, we're going to expand this out until these 2 holes line up here. And we'll go ahead and take one of our pins and lock that into place. Now our bottom, we'll go ahead and use another one of those pins and get that locked into place. Now when we stand this thing up underneath here, there's going to be one more, and we can go ahead and lock this using this additional pin into place right here for now. Now we're going to go ahead and install our support legs. Now this is going to be the back of the bench with the long backrest, and this is going to be the front of the rest with the short butt rest. Now this piece right here is going to go with the front, and we're going to use these 2 nuts and bolts to secure that, along with our crescent wrench and our longer Allen wrench. Now for our back piece right here, it's already got the little bolts screwed in to the slots right there. So that's going to go here, and we're going to use the smaller Allen wrench. To do this, we're going to go ahead and flip this thing upside down, just make it a little bit easier to work with. So we'll go ahead and install our back piece first. Number 1, unscrew each of these little bolts. Now we do have this upside down right now, so when we insert this in, we want to make sure that the bottoms of the feet are up. It'll slide in, and now we're going to put all these little bolts back into place, and we'll just hand tighten them at first. Now we'll go ahead and take our smaller Allen wrench and get these all tightened up. There you go. Back support on. Now for our front support, these holes are going to line up with those holes. Again, it is upside down, so we'll make sure the feet are facing up. Now we're going to go ahead and take our bolts along with our washer and put these down from underneath. And we'll take our nuts and we'll get those hand tightened first. Then we'll go ahead and use our crescent and our larger Allen wrench, and we'll get these all tightened up. And our front support is on. Now, the last thing we're going to do is flip this over again. And on this front side here, we're going to go ahead and put in our footrest. Now to do that, we'll simply unscrew this right there. And now there are 3 different holes that we can put this in, depending on the height that we want it set for. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the second hole and then tighten this up, but if you want to change it, it's obviously very quick and easy to do. And just like that, our FLYBIRD weight bench is all put together. Super simple installation process. It should only take you about 4 or 5 minutes, and really anybody should be able to handle that. Let's go ahead and take a little closer look at this thing. Now the frame on this thing is going to be a durable steel frame with a nice black powder coating for protection. And in both the front and the back, you're going to have these adjustable feet, which are going to be a heavy-duty plastic. Now the footrest also has a black powder-coated steel frame along with these foam pieces for comfort. And we have 3 different pins for adjustments. These 2 are the same type of pin right there for both the bottom as well as when we want to store this. Then we've got this smaller pin here to adjust our back. And when it comes to the bench itself, you got yourself about 1.5 inches of foam padding, all covered in this faux leather with a nice design, like the red stripes along with the FLYBIRD logoing. If you take a real close look at this, just kind of a nice little grippy design that's also going to wick water as well. And at the middle of the bench, you're going to see you've got this nice little handle. That's going to come in handy for storage when we break this thing down later on. Now let's go ahead and look at some of the dimensions. The bench height itself is going to be 16 inches to the bottom and about 17.5 inches to the top. And the bottom bench is going to measure 13.5 inches long by about 11 inches wide. Our top bench is going to measure about 28.5 inches long. And although it varies in size, at its thickest point, it's going to be about 11 inches wide. And as its narrow point, it's going to be 9 inches wide. Now both the front and the back feet are going to be the same distance wide, and that's going to be 15 inches. Now when it comes to the weight of this bench, it's going to come in at 23.25 pounds. So real light, easy to move around for different exercises. Now one nice safety feature about this is going to be these adjustable feet. Now if you're working out in a room that might have an uneven floor, you can go ahead and move this either out just to make sure you have no rock in your bench, or twist it the other way to move it back in. That way you're going to have a nice solid surface before you do any type of lift. Now let's go ahead and show you how easy it is to maneuver both our front and back. We'll start right here with our front, and basically we're just going to pull this pin out, and you'll see we have 4 different holes. So we can raise this one, snap the pin back into place for a slight incline, a little bigger incline, or our final hill here. That's going to give us our biggest incline. Now as far as our back, we actually have 8 different positions that we can set this up in. And to make a change, all we're going to do is simply pull this pin. We can lift this up. If we want to go all the way down, we pull that up. Other than that, we simply slide this into whatever position we want. It sits back against that rest, and then we lock it into place. So now it's time to get this thing moved over to our dumbbell area and test it out. Now, as we run through my various workouts today, just for reference, I'm 6 foot and 225 pounds, so you can kind of compare how I am and how I look on this bench to how it'll work out for you. So let's go ahead and start off with just a traditional flat bench. Now let's go ahead and make a couple quick adjustments, and we'll do an incline bench. Go ahead and make another adjustment, and we'll go ahead and do a shoulder press. Now this does go all the way up to 90 degrees. When I do a shoulder press though, I want just a little bit of a decline there. So we'll leave it right there. Now let's go ahead and set this thing up in a decline position. And what we can do here is utilize our footrest, get a little ab work in. Now let's go ahead and flatten our bench back out, and we'll do some back rows. Now let's go ahead and make one more adjustment. We'll go ahead and do some angled curls. After getting a few workouts in on this thing, I gotta say, pretty decent little light duty weight bench. When I looked up the weight specifications on this, I saw two numbers, 600 pounds and 660 pounds. Now that should really handle anything that you're gonna throw at it in a home gym setting, including any type of bench pressing with a barbell or dumbbells as well. I wanted to kind of stack this thing up to a commercial grade weight bench just to kind of show you the differences. Obviously this one's going to be a lot heavier and a little bit longer, but it's not going to fold up and be as compact either. Now, one of the nicest things about this bench is how it's going to be great for a small area because it will fold up and it's easy to store. To fold this thing up, all we're going to do is remove this pin right here, remove this pin right there, and remove our rear pin and set our bench all the way down. Now from that point, we can simply use this handle and that thing will be nice and compact, where we could store it under a bed or next to a wall. So there you go. That's pretty much everything you need to know about this FLYBIRD adjustable weight bench. So to close this video out, here's my 3 takeaways. Number 1, I like the fact that this thing pretty much comes about 75% put together, and it only is going to take you about 5 minutes to put the feet on and you're ready to start lifting. Number 2, now is this going to be a heavy duty bench that you should be doing max Olympic power lifts on? Probably not, but if you have a small area where you're trying to have a nice little home gym and you need to do some dumbbell or barbell work, this thing should work out pretty well for you. And number 3, I love the fact that this thing comes with a 1-year warranty, and you're definitely not going to break the bank picking this thing up. So it's for those reasons and more, I'm going to go ahead and give this bad boy a world's greatest dad thumbs up, and I say, go out and get you one. Hey, one more thing before you go. I want to let you know that the FLYBIRD company behind this weight bench is a big fan of the world's greatest dad's in-depth and informational videos. Therefore, about a month ago, they reached out to me and asked me if they could send me this product for video review purposes. Now, with that being said, all the thoughts and opinions expressed in this video were my own, and I always do my best to accurately describe any product I review. Now, I hope this video helped you out. We'll see you next time.